a lot of the small, isolated communities, they moved thousands of people to more central locations, to places like Arnold's Cove. Well, 25 years later, a lot of those people have not forgotten their roots.
Warren Riggs and Morris and Esther and their son Roy are coming from Nova Scotia.
Mary Osmond and Maxine Ryan are going over the last-minute details for a reunion.
She wrote me a letter.
Like all the people on this reunion checklist, their roots go back to a community that no longer exists.
Oh, and I brought the T-shirts. I'll show you.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Anderson's Cove disappeared in 1965, a victim of the centralization program. Now it's alive again, on the caps and on the buttons printed up for the reunion. Mary and Maxine used this old census to track people down, but their biggest help came from a woman that they won't meet until the reunion, Patsy Curtis. Mind you, they've talked on the phone a lot.
And she said, Mary, I'm going to help you. She said, I want to go home too. And she wasn't even born there, but her parents were born there. And to her, it's her home as well. And she was so excited on the phone, you just couldn't believe it. She just bubbled.
Let's have a look. This is the scrapbook?
Yes.
Oh, my, look at that. Anderson's Cove.
As it used to be.
Just an incredible picture.
This is my grandfather's house.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that beautiful?
That's our house there.
You lived in this house?
That house there is still standing.
How do you think you're going to feel when you see Anderson's Cove first come into sight?
I just want to see Anderson's Cove when the boat pulls into the harbor, and I have my aunt who is 80, who hasn't been home for 47 years, and I want to see her face. I just want to see home.
Seem to sense we're going home. Sail away to the cove across the bay. As old Aunt Myrtle waits patiently, going home. We're going home. When the boat arrives at the wharf, the first one ashore is Aunt Myrtle, who hasn't set foot here in 47 years.
I'm home!
A handful of fishermen work out of Anderson's Cove in the summer, but for most of the year, the harbor is deserted. Like many other people, Mary Osmond left here several years before centralization, but she can still find her way around the harbor and remembers how things used to be.
Well, the road used to go along here, but now there's just a footpath. That's all that's left. The school was on the hill near that tree. The church was behind the bushes, those green, big green bushes there. Right here there was a store, but there's nothing left. And the greenhouse is where my grandfather's house was. And it looks exactly like I remembered it, exactly.
But there's little time for quiet reflection.
A car's waiting for you!
There's a reunion going on here, and people are arriving by the boatload. Maxine searches the crowd for Patsy Curtis, the third member of their reunion team.
I get that old.
There are many greetings, hugs, and kisses. But to Maxine's disappointment, there's no sign of Patsy. She and Mary will have to wait for another boat. The first day of the reunion is almost over. The hills above the harbor echo with sounds that haven't been heard here for years. Caught up in the party, Mary and Maxine haven't noticed that another boat has come in, and Patsy has finally arrived.
Here she comes. Oh, my God, Patsy. Oh, boy.
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
glad to see you.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in a dream. Like it's not real yet. That's what it feels like. We've been planning it all this time, and for a while we didn't think it was going to happen, and now it's here. Oh, goosebumps.
It was 3 from the beginning and 3 till the end,
That's
and then
right.
reunion started.
3
and you got it.
musketeers.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Morning on the second day of the reunion. There's some unusual activity down at the water's edge.
There we are.
They're putting wedding decorations on a fishing boat. Patsy remembers how the idea of a reunion wedding came about.
Well, when we started the reunion, we contacted people to see who we could notify. So one of the ladies told me that her son was planning on getting married this weekend, so she didn't know if she'd even be able to make it. Then she called me a week later, and she said, what do you think of the idea of him getting married in Anderson's Cove? I said, well, this is great. I mean, this is perfect. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, a traditional wedding in a place like this.
Friends, we are gathered here in the presence of God.
So, on a hillside overlooking the harbor, they gather for the marriage of Michael Burton and Lisa Hines.
This young couple coming together to plan their future is helping us to make a new memory of life in Anderson's Cove.
It's really a double celebration. For the bride and groom, it's the beginning of a new life together. But for these Newfoundlanders, it's also the fulfillment of a dream, coming back to the place they will always call home. Home is where the heart is. Home is memory. Home is love and friendship, wedded by the sea. There isn't a place I'd rather be than here with you.